r/entitled people, where your grandfather is basically a goldfish. My grandfather died 2 years ago. Many people came to the funeral. My family were in the front, my friends were at the back, and it was heart-wrenching for us. We had lost our grandmother a year earlier, but we were happy knowing the two were together again. People were arriving, hugging my mom and my uncle. They were the last ones left in my mom's immediate family. Uncle 1 had died of a heart attack, Uncle 2 had drowned, and Grandma and Grandpa had died of old age. My cousins, siblings, and I were comforting each other. It's a mess of sobs and remembering happy memories. Then comes entitled parent, a family friend, dragging in her 4 kids. They were polite and good, so they don't play a role in the story. Well, that's new. We go through the funeral, then we all go to the banquet hall for his memorial service. Entitled parent was constantly being rude, making jokes at my mom and my uncle like, haha, which one of you is next? Asking my great uncle, who was my grandfather's youngest brother, if he's happy he outlived his parents and siblings. Also asked him if he's glad he outlived my great aunt, so he didn't have to hear her nagging anymore. Yeah, I'm sure great uncle is so glad his wife is dead. When great uncle finally snapped, she got all offended and said, well, when son's goldfish died, none of you cared. The poor boy gave us an apology nod, sinking into his seat. Note, it was a goldfish he won at a fair. He never really cared for it and it died anyway, but entitled parent made a huge deal out of it and made several Facebook posts. Was this lady comparing a goldfish's death to my grandfather dying? My mom stands straight up, asking her how dare she make death comments to the family, and how dare she compare a goldfish's death to her own dad's death. Entitled parent starts yelling, saying how we were always rude to her, we never were, and that we hated her kids, no we didn't, and that we kicked her wonderful boyfriend out of the house. He was in prison twice and did drugs and we didn't trust him around the kids. My uncle tells her to leave. She stomps her foot and says, I'm not leaving. I knew grandfather better than all of you. She says in front of his kids, his brother, and his grandkids. My great uncle tells her to round up the kids, to leave the place and never contact us again. The only reason we know her is because my cousin is in a dance recital with her daughter. Go frick yourself, lady. Alright, but in all seriousness though, let's take a moment and say rest in peace to the goldfish. Because all life is equal, right? Alright, I found a good one. This is Entitled Mom Wants My Phone by user .thespot. A little backstory. I was 16 at the time, and had recently gotten surgery. I was put on medicine and experienced all side effects, nausea, headaches, loss of appetite, trouble sleeping, etc. So obviously I was in a constant terrible mood. I'd finished doing some work experience and was on the bus home. I decided to play a game on my phone to pass time, and was feeling okay. Up until I heard those extremely heavy breaths right next to my head. I turned my head slightly and see this little kid behind me staring at my phone. He's got snot running down his face, God knows what on his hands, and I don't really want to be near this kid. I move away slightly, pressing myself against the window. Everything is okay until 5 minutes later. The kid asks to play the game. I say no, because I don't want to give my phone to some random child on the bus. I carry on playing my game, and then feel a tap on my shoulder. Lo and behold, it's entitled parent. She has that angry football mom aura, and I immediately don't want to talk to her. Entitled parent. My son saw you playing that game and he wants a turn. Me. I'm sorry, but this is my phone and I don't really want to give it to a stranger. Entitled parent. He's just a kid, so why don't you let him play? Me. I don't want to give him my phone. Please leave me alone. Entitled kid reaches forward to try to grab my phone and I get straight up and walk away to the front of the bus as I don't want to get into an argument. My stop isn't that far now and I think I can handle being jolted around a little. I was wrong. Entitled parents gets up and storms over to me and begins an instant lecture about how I'm selfish and how terrorists like me, I'm wearing a headscarf, shouldn't be allowed in this country and I should give my phone to entitled kid because people like me aren't supposed to have them. I'm stood there in shock when all of a sudden I feel a wave of nausea coming on and know something horrible is going to happen. I clamp my hand over my mouth and gesture for the entitled parent to move away from me. She takes this the wrong way and shoves me a little. Her voice is rising to a shout. By now we have the attention of all the passengers on the bus and I really just want to get off. Then it happens. I throw up. All over entitled parent. She stands there in shock and I bolt over the doors of the bus, jump off and continue puking on the sidewalk. I see entitled parents start screaming, but the bus has already started to move. And not wanting to risk my chances, I walk back a few streets, then call my mom to pick me up. I like to think that she got instant karma. So there you have it, guys. If you ever encounter an entitled parent, just learn from this user and use your special attack. Make sure to like and subscribe as I'll be posting more of these videos on a regular basis if we get good feedback. Cheers!